Hello again, Chris Lee and Chase Robinson of Southeastern 16 here to preview a huge game for both Ole Miss and Arkansas, which Arkansas will host at 11 Central on ESPN. Get your day started off with a good one here. Ole Miss, a 6.5-point favorite, according to BetOnline, as we do this Monday. Over under of 54 points for an implied final score of Ole Miss 30, Arkansas 24. My composite model has Ole Miss by as many as 10. Chase, this is a fascinating game because all the computer models basically say Ole Miss is due to play much better. The stats just scream elite, although some of that has been compiled against weaker teams. As for Arkansas, week in and week out, man, those guys can really dial it up and give you fits, as Tennessee found out, especially in Fayetteville. Can't wait to see this one on Saturday.
This is a fascinating game, and I love when the day starts out with a game like this, and that's what we get Saturday with this matchup here. It's at Arkansas, and we saw Tennessee went in there and couldn't find a way to beat Arkansas. LSU did win in Fayetteville, but Arkansas has played a tough schedule, played some really good teams, which I feel like has them in a good kind of battle-tested place as they get ready to take on Ole Miss.
All right, let's look at the matchup, and let's start with Ole Miss having the ball. We'll pull up the numbers, which are just Ole Miss has got some pretty staggering numbers on both sides of the ball. I think leads the conference in scoring offense, yards per passing play, which takes sacks out of it. I think that's the number one figure in the league. But Arkansas does some things. It turns the ball over. It turns you over a good bit, which Ole Miss really doesn't force a lot or doesn't fumble it or get it picked a lot. And then the sack percentage is interesting. Ole Miss has had trouble, though. I feel like that's a little misleading. Ole Miss protected the passer very well against some mediocre defenses. Arkansas with Landon Jackson and guys like that is capable of getting after you. I don't know what to make of this side here because I feel like Arkansas's defense has kind of been, with Travis Williams, a really good unit that nobody's really talked at a lot because of the coordinator on the other side of the ball. And Ole Miss, man, when it's clicking, and Tre Harris's health is a huge part of that, right? Which we don't know that on Monday. A lot of variables on this side of the matchup.
There are a ton of variables, and when you look at this Ole Miss team, just overall, this offense is there's so many weapons, and Jackson Dart has done a great job this year of kind of leading them offensively. They've been shaky at times, you would say, but that doesn't discount them. Like, they get the job done. They can put up big numbers, and I like what I've seen. I mean, and you mentioned Tre Harris, like he's been a dude for them this year. Him being healthy is a big part of Ole Miss's offense, and maybe we thought we would see more of the run game and things there for Ole Miss offensively. But I love what Lane Kiffin has done with this offense, and this is an intriguing part because, Travis Williams has done a tremendous job of coaching this defense for Arkansas as well. They've held teams that also have really good offenses. And so I think Arkansas kind of forces you in a position to make mistakes, and I think that's what they'll be looking to do against Ole Miss.
All right, let's flip the side of the matchup here, Chase, to talk about when Arkansas has got the ball. Before we do that, reminder, BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything sports betting. Every stat, matchup breakdown, even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. With the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, NBA, to political props. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino, get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here. Okay, Ole Miss's defense is elite by the numbers. They're hard to pass on. They're very difficult to run on. They force turnovers. They get after the passer. Arkansas done a pretty decent job of protecting the passer. Of course, that's a little easier when Taylen Green is your guy. And, of course, Jaquinda Jackson, a big wild card in this one. Arkansas's rushing attack has been terrific and was really good even without Jackson last week in that just deconstruction of Mississippi State's defense.
Yeah, I think that was a big question, like what they would look like if Jackson wasn't in, and we got to see that. Like they still can produce offensively, and so I think it's been inconsistent at times. It's been a bit of a roller coaster at times for Arkansas. I think back to the first half of the Oklahoma State game. They looked so good, and they really couldn't do anything the second half. They struggled at times against Auburn, but found a way to win the game. They looked good against Texas A&M, couldn't find a way to win the game. Beat Tennessee, looked great offensively, moved the ball really well on a good defense. So yeah, it's been up and down. It's been a roller coaster for Arkansas offensively, and I think Ole Miss, their defense has been solid. They do some really good things. I like these portal pickups they got on defense this year, and so I think this is also a pretty intriguing side of the matchup. For what the numbers you see on the screen right now show, Ole Miss has a very elite defense. Now, how can Arkansas be creative? What can Bobby Petrino do to be creative to get through this defense is what's intriguing to me.
Yeah, no, one thing to watch, Walter Nolen got hurt in the Oklahoma game. I think missed most of the second half, maybe. I actually all of the second half as I look at this. So I don't know where we are with that. If Walter Nolen, Ole Miss's stud defensive lineman, were not to play, that would change things, I think, a good bit. That would, I'm not going to say it would tilt the matchup in the running game to Arkansas's favor. I mean, it might anyway, as well as they run the ball. But all that to say, that is one variable to watch that I'm not sure we're entirely certain of what's going to happen with Walter Nolen for Saturday.
Yeah, that is a big question mark of what's going to happen at this game. We'll find out later in the week with the injury reports and all that come out. But yeah, not sure what that side will look like. He is tremendous. He has been a tremendous piece to this team. So they would love to have him out there, barring he's healthy and can play.
And I'm looking up Jaquindon Jackson too to see if we've got an update on him. He didn't play. It was doubtful for last week and didn't play. So maybe if there was some question, maybe a week to heal helps him. But they found running game in other places too. I mean, they had one of their best rushing games of the season, even without Jackson, who was pretty good at Utah and transferred and has just done some great things for that offense.
He's done great things. You're exactly right. He has been a huge piece to the success that they have had. And look, I love watching him run. I think he's a powerful runner, and he's a game changer. He's a guy you want on your team, that's for sure.
All right, let's get to picks and why, and we'll start with you.
Yeah, I'm going to take Ole Miss. I think they are they're on a roll right now. We saw them drop the game earlier in the year to Kentucky. We saw them lose that shootout to LSU, but Ole Miss sees that, hey, they still could be a playoff team if they win out, and so I think it starts with this one. And I see they see their backs against the wall, and I think they can go out and get it done this week at Arkansas.
I'm torn with Ole Miss because the numbers scream this is a top 5 team in the country. That said, Ole Miss has also racked up a lot of that against teams that were completely overmatched. Furman, MTSU, Georgia Southern, teams like that. As it's gotten tougher, I mean, they got beat by Kentucky. They lost to LSU. But having said that, I'm trying to think of like the closest comp you get to Arkansas. This isn't really it, but I was looking at mobile quarterbacks. And they played against one. That was against South Carolina. They won that game 27-3 because I think to me that's always kind of one of those things that's hard to account for. I don't know if I'm stubborn or stupid or what. I think all those things are on the table. I picked Ole Miss in every game this year. I'm going to pick them again, but that Tennessee game, the way that happened in Fayetteville is just, in my head is, okay, if Ole Miss loses this game, Arkansas wins it, then I'll go. That's what I should lean on. But on the other hand, it's unpredictable every week. I think Ole Miss is going to find a better level of performance than we've seen recently. I'm going to roll with that, and I'll probably be wrong. Right or wrong, we'll talk about it afterwards. Hit that subscribe button, enable your notifications. Caroline.smith@southeastern14.com if you'd like to advertise with us. We cover baseball, football, basketball year-round. For Chase Robinson, I'm Chris Lee. You've been watching Southeastern 16 presented by BetOnline.